Hey guys, it's Doug the Retirement Guy. Got an interesting one from you for today, and that is doubling your weekly income stream. Is that at all possible? This actually came to us from one of our Patreon supporters that sent us a message. We talked for about 15 to 20 minutes about a system that he heard about, and I'm like, this is nothing new. This has been out there, but we wanted to see and do some testing that could you actually double your weekly income stream using a new system. So we're going to show you today, get our results. Is it worthwhile? Is it not worthwhile? And let's see what we can do. So let's get into today's video, doubling your income stream. Notice to all viewers, past performance does not guarantee future results. This is information is provided as educational, informational purposes only and should only be considered a financial or an investment advice. The examples and suggestions discussed in this illustration are not suitable for all individuals, so always contact a licensed financial advisor or a professional before making financial decisions. So our current income stream is this. We have ULTY that we have $10,000 invested in. We have 1,582 shares. We basically have a $6.32 average on those shares. So currently, we're collecting $157.12 on average over the past 4 weeks. So what we really are trying to do is double that to get $314.24 on average at the end of 4 weeks, or each and every week of that. So the question is, can we double it? Can we make this thing really work? And we talked about it and we come up with the plan, and we want to show you what the actual plan is. So we started looking at the idea, and it's really called dividend capture strategy. And what that is you buy the stock before the X date. And the X date, of course, is the cutoff date to qualify for upcoming dividends. If you buy the stock on or after this date, you won't be eligible for the dividend. The idea is to buy the stock just before the X date, so you're entitled to receive the dividend payout. Then you hold the stock through the X date. So you need to hold the stock at least until the X date to receive the dividend. The stock will typically drop by the amount of the dividend on the X date because the new buyers won't be receiving the dividend. This drop in the stock price is often reflected in the market as a dividend is essentially paid out to the shareholders. So the stock price is adjusted accordingly. However, if the drop doesn't always exactly equal the dividend, you can sell completely on that day. So then the step number 3 is to sell the stock after that X date. So after the X date, you can sell the stock if you want. By now you've received your dividend and the stock price is typically dropped by the similar amount but not always. And the goal is to pocket the dividend without holding the stock long term as you move on to another stock in the same purpose. Now, the other thing is, if you wait just maybe an extra day, it's called recovery time. How quick does a fund or a stock recover from its dividends? So most stocks will take, anywhere between 4 to 6 days to give a full recovery. But all you're looking for, and what we were looking for, is just as quickly as we can sell it, get into the next fund, and then turn, and I call turn and burn. So the next step 4 is to buy another stock with a future X date. After selling that first stock, you can buy a different stock that has a different dividend upcoming soon, and you'd follow the same process, buy before the X all the way through. So it was an interesting piece, and I'm like, will this work with the ETF funds? Will this work with the weekly pays? Because you got to turn and burn so quickly in those to make the dates. And we get the information enough ahead of time that we normally have 24 hours to play around with this. So I said, guys, let's try this. So we chose to do round hill investments. So these are going to have to be bought before Friday, and we're going to sell them on Tuesday. And then we get the yield max that we're going to buy before Wednesday and sell on Friday. And the reason for these things all work well together, these two funds, is because we get the reports on Roundhill basically a day beforehand, and then we get the yield max definitely a full day ahead of time. So we can do our analysis, we can do our evaluations, which funds we want to buy. We'll know the dividends ahead of time. So we have time to make those choices, and actually a little bit of time that we can look at the purchase price and the sale price to make sure these work out accordingly. So this is what we're going to choose to do. So we took first week, we took our ULTY, we collected our dividends and got $159 from them. Then we turned around and sold ULTY at $6.03. Turned around and bought HOOW at $62.56, collected an 83-cent dividend, and got us $127 in that purchase. Sold it on Friday and ended up with $10,387 in the fund. So our goal is $157.12 per week. We gained $286 this week, or an 82% gain. So we really didn't double our funds because we need 314 to really to double. But we got to 82%, which wasn't bad. And we gained $387 in the fund value. So we have more money to work with. So it was kind of interesting so far. First week, yeah, I like the system, don't like the system. We got to do more research, a little more legwork. So we started digging in deeper into week number 2. So week number 2, we bought right back into ULTY, thinking this is what we wanted to do on a regular basis. So we were able to now buy 1,697 shares, paid 10 cents. So we got $170.24 in dividends there. We sold it at 607, so we took a little bit of a loss. And then we turned around and bought AVGW, the Roundhill, at $54.40, and we were able to buy 189 shares, and that paid $1.01 for $190.90. And then we turned around and sold it for, again, a little bit of a loss, $54.08. So again, our goal is try to get double 157. So we're looking for $314, and we did it. We gained $361, or 129% gain. So we were pleased with hitting this number. We definitely achieved our number, and our fund still had $242 worth of gain in 2 weeks. So I'm happy now. Week number 2, we figured out what we want to do to buy the right funds, to sell the funds. We figured this all out, and we're a success. Week number 3, we bought right back into ULTY, gave us that 10-cent return, $168. Now this is where ULTY took a nasty drop down to $5.94. So we took a big hit on ULTY. We bought MSTW, which was, we were able to buy 238 shares and paid $1.39 in dividends. So we collected $332.17 alone on MSTW. We turned around, sold it for $36.33. So we took a major hit in the value. So income-wise, 157, we hit $526 this week for a 218% gain. So we had definitely achieved our goal. But we are now $1,300 in the hole in our fund value. So now I'm feeling like sick. This is horrible. This is not what the plan was supposed to be. And this just shows how weeklies bounce all over the place. Great income, loss in fund value. So did we really gain money, or have we lost money? So week number 4, we jump back into ULTY at $5.69. Now what's crazy about this is we're back to 1,522 shares because of the loss in value and the price of ULTY going down. We actually have the equal number of shares that we originally started with. But unfortunately, it's paying $152.25. So we turned around, sold that on Friday, and picked up GOOW, the Google weekly pay, at $52.90. We were able to buy 160 shares, but that paid $1.59 that week. So we collected $256.10. We ended up selling it for $52.37, ended up with $8,425.68. So again, remember our weekly goal, 157.12 times 2 is $314.24. We gained $408.35 or 159% over. So overall, we did great. We are doubling. We continue to double our income because we're buying and selling different funds and getting the money. Our gain, in the fund value, is down $1,574.32. So in summary, we were trying to achieve $628.48 is what we were just established with originally, and we actually turned it into a $1,556.42 gain, 147.64% gain over what we were just getting by setting and forgetting. So easily we doubled our income, hands down. Did a very, very good job of that. The issue is we started the fund with $10,000. We're now down to $8,425. So technically our fund value went down $1,574 and we gained income of $1,556. So this is what we run into all the time with these weeklies. Great, I can brag all day long. I collected $1,556 a month from my $10,000. Okay, so that is huge what they're collecting, 15% per week. What did it cost you? Well, it cost me $1,574 of value of the funds. So the funds continue to drop, the income's coming in. Sure, it's a slight balance, but we didn't make any money off of this. We actually lost money. So did we win the program? Well, let's see. If we did the buy and set, which is we bought our 10,000 shares and we collected our $628 of income over the monthly period, our fund would have went down $1,156.62. So our total value, which is income plus the dividend value, the total is $9,474.66. Remember, we started off with 10,000. So we're actually down. If we let it set and forget it in this past month, we are actually down total in our fund. Now, if we do the buy and sell, which takes a little more work, a little more aggressiveness, the weekly income went up to $1,556.42. Remember, our value of our fund went down $1,574.32, which means our total value of our fund only went to $9,982.10. So technically, guys, we did win. We did win. If we let the thing just set and do nothing, we are actually $510 more in our pocket than if we let it set and forget. So buying and selling was actually a winner in this monthly period because we collected more income and we covered the basis of the value of the fund going down. So is this a strategy that we want to continue with and compete with? In my book, probably not. Probably not at all. It's kind of one of these things is we're looking for a little bit of growth plus income value. So this month we can't say we made any money. We actually lost value. This is why when you build a portfolio and you build your program out, you need to have some funds that are designed for growth and growth only, and some funds designed for income and income only. So it's a nice mixture between the two. So our Patreon supporter was actually happy with this. He says, if I continue doing this and catch it at a right time and catch them that the market's actually growing. He goes, I'm going to get income along with value. I said, more power to you. And we accept that, and you probably would win. So guys, if you like what we're doing, hit that like button. If you're not a subscriber, hit that subscribe button. Leave us a comment. Tell us what you guys think about this strategy. Would you do it? Would you participate into it? Or you think it's just kind of, I call it a waste of time, a waste of energy? Like he said, I did not lose as much this week or this month as I did last month. We'll see where it goes to. I'm not a seller of it, but we wanted to put it out there. And if you guys can support the channel, hit that Patreon button. We love you, and we'll see you next time.